will be selling you sugar in solid and liquid forms until the final comedian goes up. That's your last call, so come get your booze. Restrooms down the hall. If you need anything, just come find us. It's me and Matt in the back. Let's get this show on the road. Who's ready for comedy? You know him, you love him. He's the teacher here, Carl Wilson!
Keep it up for Aaron, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. How about a hand for all the students on the show tonight? Give them a round of applause. Thank you. For coming out tonight, we really appreciate it. I want you to know before we start that I'm pretty darn sure that at least for the next 4 years, this is a better show than you're ever going to see at the Kennedy Center. So, thank you. A little test to use up on the news. I appreciate it. I went to a puppet show at the White House today. Did you see that? Trump and Vance lied to our ally, President Zelensky, and then humiliated him. The puppet show is that, of course, Trump is Putin's puppet, and Vance is Trump's puppet, which makes Vance Putin's grand puppet. Thank you for getting that. You're the one person who laughed at the one joke I wrote today. That's it. I think Trump is a little testy. They told him last week that the Gulf of America now identifies as transatlantic, so he's very upset. And Elon Musk looking for corruption? That's like OJ looking for the real murderer. Our new owner, Rick, is here. Give Rick a round of applause. Rick was just mentioning, we were talking about I was on radio for 10 years in Portland. Actually, the first 6 years on Air America, KPOJ, our progressive talk station here. And it reminded me that I always tell people it's not real easy being a liberal in Portland. Everyone thinks it's easy. It is not. After 6 years on KPOJ, great, the pinnacle of my career anywhere is I love doing political talk, and it was fun. It was so good and vital, and we got laid off after 6 years. They flipped the format from progressive talk to syndicated sports, and really the most devastated I've been in my life. And I couldn't believe it. They walked in and said, "You're out." And they marched us out of the building, and I was devastated. I was driving around for a while. How am I going to go home and tell my husband I've been laid off from my dream job? Didn't know what to do. I drove home, and I just drove into the garage, shut the garage door, and thought, I'm just going to end it. And after about 15 minutes, I realized I have an electric car. So it's not easy being a liberal in Portland. We just bought another EV in April, my husband Gary and me, and it's a dilemma. Let me just say this. It's an odd time when I'm open about my gay relationship, but in the closet about my Tesla. It's in the parking lot. If you want to look at it, make me an offer. I'm open to anything. Are you guys ready for a good show tonight? These comics, they're not just students, they're really good comics. They worked very hard over the last 7-8 weeks to present to you, so I want to get started off with our youngest. He's the youngest student we've had here. He was 19 when I first taught him last year. Now he's 20. Please welcome Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Jethro!
Hello. All right. So I used to look like the kid that shot Trump, but now I just look like a closeted soldier from the 40s. Anyway, my girlfriend has a fat, hairy pussy. Get your minds out of the gutter. Okay, she has an obese cat named Maisie. Now, an important thing to know about Maisie is Maisie's a screamer, which means when you walk in through the door of the apartment, she runs up to you and goes, and since she's so fat, it kind of like reverberates through her whole body, and it shakes the ground when she does it. Now, another important thing to know about Maisie is Maisie's a cuck, so I I don't know if any of you have ever been mid-foreplay and look up and see some giant poof ball going. It's very distracting. So now at this point, you gotta go get the cat. But now your pants are already around your ankles. So now you're waddling around after the fucking cat. And for such a large animal, very quick and even more determined to watch. Oh, so now I finally get the cat, and I get the cat out of the room. But she's screaming in my face the whole time, and something they never teach you in life that I had to learn the hard way is if you stub your toe with an erection, you stub your dick too. All right. What was I gonna do? Oh, here it is. All right. So, any of you guys got a prison uncle? You? All right, good. Finally, someone new. All right. So you may understand this. My prison uncle was a little different. He was not an uncle that had gone to prison, but someone my father met in prison and then decided to be friends with outside of prison. And you know, the best thing about prison uncles is they're going to teach you the really important things in life, like exactly what an eighth of weed should feel like in your hands, or how to break someone's arm with a towel, you know, and I have a good story about my prison uncle. So one time, roughly like 7th grade, he was driving me to school. Well, not to school, to the bus stop downtown, so I could take that to school. And we get out at the bus stop, and we see the bus I'm supposed to be getting on is driving away. So we start running down the street after the bus. And the bus gets away, and I turn around, and I see my prison uncle go, "Ha! You've just been fucked by the city of Portland! The city of Portland has fucked you, young man!" Oh. See, now prison uncles aren't just great for catchphrases. They like to give full-blown physics lectures, of course, fueled by just, so much meth. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would have paid so much more attention in school if my teacher was on meth every day. I mean, like, oh my God, just bright and early, 7 a.m. All right, kids, look at me. It's fucking Einstein. That's who we're learning about today. His hair, mag-fucking-nificent. His eyes, look at him. They go 2 different directions. A lot of people say he was inbred. I'm pretty sure he fucked his cousin. God, none of you are even paying attention. Mr. Harvey's had a bad fucking week, all right? Okay. What's your fucking name? What's your name? Calvin, hold this for me, Calvin, please. Thank you so much. That's a Newport. It's very valuable. Don't fucking waste it. Joan, thank you. That was very informative. All right. I got something real fucking important to tell all of you. Now, they don't want you to know this, and the school said I can't teach you about this, but look, children, jet fuel does not melt steel fucking beams. It was Bush. It was Bush. Joan, what the fuck are you doing? Are you passing notes in my class? No. That's just a bold-faced fucking lie. God, all right, that's it. We're getting to the bottom of this. Ah, Jesus Christ. Had too much beans. Calvin, you're getting dumped. I don't even know what the fuck that was. How the fuck did you get my Newport? Did you steal my Newport?
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, no, that's it. You're teaching the class. Go. I said get up. All right, what you got? Boring! All right, that's it. Get down. Jesus Christ.
I hated high school.
Okay, all of you fucking failed. This was just, I am ashamed of my craft. All right, that's it.
How about a hand for the shrinking flower, Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. What's the name of the cat? Oh, okay, thank you.
Mine.
Yeah. Oh, Maisie. Is that your cat?
Yeah, and that's my fat hairy pussy.
I always love it when the audience is funnier than the comics. It's like they didn't pay $2.75 for shit. Keep it going for Jethro. Thank you so much. We just had our cat neutered. He goes out at night now, but only as a consultant. So it's interesting because one of the things I do teach a little bit about visuals, and I ask my comics, always create, if you can, a visual so that the audience has that visual in mind. And the one example I give is about a cat. A comic opened for me in 1984 in Catalina Comedy Club in Avalon. Don't remember his name, and he had one great joke. He had the sense to end his set with it, and never heard from him again, so this is his joke. It's an example of a visual. He had just gotten to LA, right out of college, trying comedy, and he got an apartment in LA. He was all alone. He got a kitten for company. The kitten went into heat, he said, and he didn't know what to do, so he got a book before the internet, and he read that when a kitten goes into heat, you're supposed to simulate sex with a Q-tip. That's not the hard part, he said. The hard part is strapping the Q-tip to your waist. That is a visual, ladies and gentlemen. You will remember it on the way home tomorrow. When you look at your cat, you will be thinking, swabs. All right. Oh, remember that lesson in class?
I do.
Yeah. My favorite cat, my friend Martha has a great cat, Sherman Meow. He's a big boy. A couple summers ago, Martha was out in her backyard and with Sherman Meow, and she hears some noise, and she says, "Is baby playing with his balls?" And she hears a voice, "No, ma'am, I'm just here to read the meter." Brabba. Joining us now on the Comedy Highway, ladies and gentlemen, because I just hit a cul-de-sac and those things happen. We're going from someone very young to someone a little older and maybe a little wiser, certainly not on meth. Please welcome Michael Moylan. Michael! Give him a round of applause. Michael Moylan. Here he comes.
Take me a while to get set up here.
Take your time.
Time is fleeting, Carl.
We'll let you know when the colonoscopy results come in.
All right, thank you. Well, Jethro, amazing energy. Wish I had half of that. And thank you, Carl. He's a fine young man, Carl. Anyway, I've requested my memory to stay out in the car after some recent bad behavior, so I'll be checking my my notes as I go on here. Bear with me. So it's always fun to come see a crowd. I see quite a few strangers out there. Let's see, with all the recent gender and role fluidity, does anyone here identify as a stranger? Oh, very good, very good. How's that going for you?
Not bad.
Not bad, all right. Did anyone here come with a stranger? How's that going for you? It's working out? Okay, best question tonight. Who would like to go home with a stranger? Any hands? Not very adventurous out there, it seems like. So, recently, in order to spice up my life, I thought I really need to figure out a way of just getting out of the doldrums. So, check that box. I'm now shacking up with a grandmother. Boy, is she hot, I tell you. However, it does come in flashes. So recently we've been exploring crepe. Now, some of you are probably thinking of that little flat French pancake, but it's not that kind of crepe. if you have any age on you, you'll be starting to see some crepe kind of like all over your skin. It's that crinkly stuff, you know. Ridges and valleys, ridges and valleys, ridges and valleys, everywhere you go. Even in your nooks and crannies. So if you ever check those nooks and crannies, see if there is some there. Now, our take is, when given lemons, make lemonade. So we've been exploring the sensuous possibilities of crepe. You wouldn't think there would be many, but you know, it takes some pioneers to do this kind of stuff. So, like I said, it's crinkly. So if you kind of rub your fingers across it, and they're like it gets a nice little sound going, you know. Then there's also the possibilities of texture. I love texture. I don't know what it is about fabrics, but I love texture. And boy, when crepe comes in, you have texture everywhere. If you're young, like say Jethro there, you probably don't even realize the benefits of smooth skin, you know, the beauty of smooth skin. So enjoy it while you can, you know, is what I would say. Anyway, also, if we tend to get a little sweaty near each other, and there happens to be a breeze, you get little wasps of old book scents. And I think that is kind of relegated to a certain older age. Sort of like Gutenberg Press kind of old books. Now, recently we've been really enjoying location devices. It's something kind of new to us, like, you know, like air tags. It's really been a help at night when you sort of get up and go to the restroom, want to get up, and afterwards coming back, we tended to wander, not kind of hit where we wanted. So we finally figured out to put an air tag on our bed. Boy, have things worked out much better. Now, with age, I find that the Grim Reaper has become an inspiration. Not that I'm feeling that close, but you know, it's coming out there. You probably don't realize that the Grim Reaper was the originator of the term deadline, in that sense that, you know, when he's there, you're ready to leave. Time is up. A lot of my peers, about my age, are getting very wistful. You know, they're looking back at things they used to be able to do, like, boy, hiking up a mountain, running after a bus, having a good bowel movement. All those things which you used to take for granted now become sign of a challenge. Myself, however, I'm really focusing on firsts. I've been really trying to get in shape of late. Even hired an agent. I'm looking forward to doing my first nude scene. Now, you may scoff, but as us boomers age, there's becoming more and more demand for the possibilities of elder porn. So I got to get ready. I want to be on the front line. Now, one of the challenges with this possible newfound profession is that I'm not very limber. One of the other accompaniments of age is stiffness. Stiffness all over. And not necessarily where and when you would like it to occur. Even in your nooks and crannies. Who would have thought a nook could be stiff? But yes. So, I have been working to do something to alleviate my stiffness. So I'm really starting a practice of yoga. And as some of you are probably familiar with, some of my favorite poses are Old Child's Pose and Downward Dog. And recently I've been working on a new one called Upright Penis. My wife is really enjoying this and sort of creating it into a partner pose. She's willing to give me a hand whenever I give her that notice, you know. look, these are tough times. Carl was mentioning this earlier, and it's really important that all of us continue supporting science. I'm especially hoping that you will send some monies towards the project for the relocation of stiffness. It's it's something that's really close to my, well, I won't go any further. You know, at my age, I'm starting to realize the possibility of my becoming a sage is getting kind of dim. So, you know, I've been kind of scraping around trying to wonder what could I do? So, you know, you don't hear about too many options for people my age. So, dirty old man is one that's been raised by a friend of mine. But I don't know, do I have the goods? So recently I've been thinking about how would I figure this out? So I thought about a scale. If you start from prude and you go all the way over to pervert, you know, where would I land? You may want to ask yourself, where would you land if you were on that scale? So for me, I'm not even close to dirty old man. I'm just kind of relegating myself right now to sort of being just a dingy old man. So I got to get to work, and I'll check back with you about that much later. Hey, part two.
Oh, it's part two.
Two of three, Carl.
Two of three?
2 of 3, yes. The night has just begun. So, let me reframe myself and reframe our setting. Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here tonight. What the world needs now is a new greeting. Yes, those old greetings of hi, hello, hey, they're just not working anymore for most of us. And the world is in dire situation, so we need something new. Your greetings are probably not doing it for you. Your greetings are probably not doing it for others. Hi, hello, hey. They are limp. They are not good. They are limp is not good. Limp is bad. Even if you think about the next thing you might say after your hi, hello, hey, is how are you? What's happening? What's up? Basically what you get is an autopilot response. You know, fine, I'm okay, not much. Even hola and ciao, sometimes I wonder about those, about cultural appropriation, brothers and sisters. I have crossed mountains, I have crossed oceans looking for the answer to this greeting challenge. Finally, I tell you, I have found it. The answer, brethren, is hoopla! Now, hoopla sets the tone. Hoopla urges you and whoever you may be talking with, to get up to something. Can I get a hoopla? Hoopla! Well done, this is a good group, Carl. Now, hoopla has a range of possibilities when you interact with someone. It can be simple fun, and it can range all the way over to, let's get a room and rearrange it with our bodies. Now, brothers and sisters, looks. I see some looks out there that show me that there are doubters. There are some non-believers in our midst. Let me remind you, what you give to hoopla, hoopla will give back to you. Yes. If you're in a large crowd and you're looking for some comrade, someone to get up to something with, just let out a hoopla! Hoopla! You're on. Now, it's also quite possible you're in the middle of an existential crisis. You're looking for some support from above. Just let out another hoopla! Hoopla! And you may get an answer from above. Look, what if hoopla is what it's really all about? It may not be for everyone, and yes, I must have to say, some are just not ready for hoopla. So ditch your limp greetings. Take hoopla for a spin. Can I get a hoopla? Hoopla! All Righty, navigated number 2. There we go. 2 out of 3, third one coming. Let me get ready.
You're doing good.
As long as I have my...
9:20.
It's 9:20. I'll be quick if I can. I'm going to say boys and girls, bringing me back to my elementary school days. Ladies and gentlemen, I am facetious as fuck. I find sincerity exhausting. Like, look, the world needs sincerity, but it needs to stay in its lane. I must admit I have SDD, some deficit in, oh God, I've even forgotten, sincerity deficit something or other. You can help me out, yeah. It all started in 4th grade with Sister Ralph, who we sometimes called Sergeant. Sister Ralph was teaching us how to write a letter. In common current parlance, you might term that snail mail. It was important that we start off a letter with something like, "Dear Mr. Jones." And in my head, I'm thinking, dear? Really? Who is Jones? Why? I couldn't do it. So next, following that greeting, you have the message of your letter, blah, 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 whatever that might be. And the final challenge for me was the closing. Sister Ralph expected something like, "Sincerely yours," or "Yours truly." The best I could give her was, "That's all I got, take it or leave it," you know? Look, I'm not joking about this insincerity stuff. That's why I love hanging around comedians. They're some of the least sincere people I know. Everything to them is a joke. You just can't ever get a straight line. But look, audience, you are complicit. You are the ones who drive us to being insincere. You enjoy insincerity. We really can't help ourselves, you know? Recently I had a crisis with a former friends of mine, a couple. They browbeat me over the course of an evening with their ultra sincerity. You know, they were donating to this, they were leading picket lines for that. It just got too much. The air was being sucked out of the room. They were not staying in their lane. So I gently, over a few days, had to nudge them into the off-ramp. They were crowding me too much. I needed some relief to take the pressure off. So now they've gone from being friends to being ushered into what I call the stranger pool, which is good for everybody. They get a chance to meet new people, and so do I. Look, sincerity is straightforward. You mean what you say what you mean. It's too dang serious for me. There's no room for creativity. But insincerity, one's mind starts to whirl. There's so many possibilities with insincerity. Excuse me while I take out my possibilities list here. I kid you not. So with insincerity, you can kiss up, you can butter up, you can put down, you can double deal, you can lie, you can kiss ass, you can manipulate, you can joke around, you can gaslight, you can forge, you can flatter, you can sweet talk, you can fawn, you can indulge in chicanery, and you can give snow jobs. Now, there are also ways that you can be. You can be sanctimonious, you can be deceitful, you can be fake, you can be two-faced, you can be pretentious, you can be a know-it-all, you can be a phony, a fraud, obsequious, you can be spurious, and yes, you can be bogus. Now, if that doesn't do it, it does warm the cockles of my heart to know that there are so many possibilities within sincerity. A quick note before I go, and sometimes as a former teacher, I like to give you a little bit of information. You may have heard of the term blow smoke up someone's ass. Have you ever heard of that? Well, did a little research. It actually turns out in the 1700s, that was a medical procedure. No lie. Check it out, look it up. Look, you guys have been the greatest audience ever. And sincerely yours, me, I'm out. Hoorah! Hoorah!
Moylan, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Moylan, come on. Yeah. A few years ago, I was down in Florida visiting my mom, and she was 90 at the time, and she asked me to take her to her mammogram. And I said, Mom, you're 90. Why are you going for a mammogram? She goes, I like the attention. So, she goes in, I'm in the waiting, she comes out, she goes, hoopla! Michael Moylan, ladies and gentlemen, my mother is a pain in the ass, I have to tell you. She's always complaining nobody ever calls her, so I got her one of those How Am I Driving bumper stickers. Oh, wait. We argued politics our whole life. I visited her in Florida. She accidentally bleached my Obama t-shirt, so I set fire to her Glenn Beck Christmas sweater. I brought my husband down to meet her, and I don't think she took it well. We're eating dinner. She looked across and goes, now which one of you is gay? And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. When she followed up with, well, we didn't have homosexuals in the 1950s. I said, well, somebody put the fins on those Cadillacs. I mean, somebody did those beehive hairdos. Honestly, we have a lesbian friend, Jenny, who also has a right-wing mother in Florida. She came out to her mother, told her she's a lesbian. Her mother goes, what's next, Jenny? Heroin? Lesbianism, the gateway drug. All right. Are you ready for more comedy? Good job, Michael. All three. 3 for 3. Coming to the stage now is she's a very funny comedian who's also a published writer. Please welcome Kathy Cravat, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy Cravat.
Hello, everybody. As you said, I'm Kathy Cravat. As you can see from literally everything about me, you can't miss it. I'm middle-aged. Yeah. I try to deal with it, you know. I have highlights in my hair to try to camouflage the gray. I wear this scarf to hide my accordion neck. And this long coat's supposed to make me look thinner, but I think it really makes me look like Grandma Smurf. And even my computer knows how old I am. I saw my niece's TikTok, and she had an ad for birth control that lasts for 5 years. First of all, cool, but how come I didn't even know that existed? And I realized it's because of targeted ads. She gets an ad for birth control. I get one for cure for gout. She gets an ad for tickets to Post Malone, whoever that is. I get one for a meetup for Mahjong. She gets an ad for mountain climbing equipment. I actually got one for a Rascal mobility scooter. That's just insulting. But it was a really good sale, so I got one. Another way you can tell how old I am is how much time I spent on Nextdoor. It's that social media app that lets you find out who among your neighbors is an asshole without actually having to talk to them. The worst thing about Nextdoor is when your neighbor posts a photo from their Ring doorbell with the subject line, suspicious man. So then you get to find out who among your neighbors is a racist asshole. And then your other neighbors chime in and thank them for being vigilant. And they spell vigilant wrong. So then you get to find out who among your neighbors are the racist and illiterate assholes. So as Carl mentioned, I'm an author. I write murder mysteries. Keeps my husband on his toes. You can tell a mystery author by how they see a beautiful scene. Like if I'm on the beach, you know, rolling waves, sparkling water, the first thing I will think of is those rocks would be a great place to find a dead body. Cobblestone Street in Europe, those bushes would be a great place to find a dead body. Hot tub in a Swiss chalet, that hot tub would be a great place for gratuitous sex scene. So I have a personal trainer, and she's great. I'm not going to tell you her name because I feel like I'm not a very good advertisement for her. But one time we were working out, and I said, you know what? Personal trainer would be a great main character for a mystery series because she goes in and out of people's houses, she goes in and out of gyms. She has a lot of opportunities to find dead bodies. And we laughed, and then she had me do a lot of ab exercises. I said, maybe she should be the murder victim. Then she tortured me with squats. And I'm here to tell you, murder victim in my next book is Claire Bryce. That's B-R-Y-C-E. So the writing gig's going okay, but I decided to try something new, stand-up. Because I wanted to make even less money. The most important thing I've learned about comedy is that you don't want to be friends with comedians. Because we're going to listen to your problems, your stories, what has you, crying into your pillow at night, if it's your cheating boyfriend or your terrible boss or the guy that cut you off on 205. And on the outside, we're going to look like we care. But on the inside, we're writing punchlines. You kind of have to have a mean streak, at least a little bit, to be a comedian. And I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm just saying if you happen to have a mean streak, then comedy might be for you. Way to funnel those tendencies into socially acceptable behavior. Like Dexter. I actually think it's better to be friends with mystery authors because we can think about all of those people that have bugged you. And we know at least 37 ways to kill them off. In a book. I'm skipping that one. So I turned 50 12 years ago. 12 years ago. And I just don't like this getting older stuff, mostly because you don't know what's going to happen. Like when I was pregnant decades ago, there was a book that was called What to Expect When You're Expecting. It was just chapter by chapter, all the weird stuff that was going to happen to you during your pregnancy. I think somebody needs to write What to Expect When You Turn 50. And it's just chapter by chapter, the order in which your body parts will betray you. Chapter 1, ankles. They're the first to go. Yeah. You're going to wake up one morning, and they're going to hurt for no good reason. And they're going to hurt on and off for the rest of your life. Chapter 2, knees. It's like your knees have seen all the attention your ankles are getting with the warm compresses and the cold compresses. And they say, hold my beer. I'm going to show you what real pain feels like. Chapter 3, memory. Chapter 3 is memory. So even though at this age I'm still learning things about myself, I found out recently that I have attention deficit disorder. And let me tell you, it explains a lot about my life. So a friend was diagnosed and gave me this book. And the first chapter had questions to answer. So question number 1, how often do you have difficulty completing a project with complex tasks? And the answers could be rarely, sometimes, often. I had to create my own category. Always. How often do you have difficulty concentrating on what people are saying? Always. Yeah. How often do you misplace your keys? I was like, hey, that's a bit specific. Do my kids write that one? And the answer is always. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have ADD. So instead of reading on in the book to learn techniques to deal with it, I put it down and started telling everybody I knew. I told my husband, and he wasn't surprised, but I don't remember what he said because I have difficulty concentrating on it. And I told all my friends, and like some of them were like, oh my God, I do the same thing, maybe I have ADD too. I was like, hey, it's your own disorder. I told my sister, she said, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah. So it's not all bad, you know. If I leave the lights on, ADD. If I mess up a recipe I've done 100 times, ADD. If I forget my sister's birthday, well, that's just payback. So I am walking every morning, and the only problem is sometimes we have a spider season here. I don't know if you know, like you go out first thing in the morning and this huge web has been built overnight. It's like a horror movie, and you're actually lucky if you see it. Yeah, I was taking the garbage out, and I walked face first into this huge web. It was all over my head. I was trying to get it off, and out of the corner of my eye, I could see the spider flapping around in midair because it was attached to my hand. And I really freaked out. I scraped it off. I ran around to the front of the house. I was banging on the door for my husband to let me in. And sure enough, 2 hours later, there's a picture of me on Nextdoor. Suspicious woman. Thank you.
Kathy Cravat, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy Cravat. Kathy Cravat. If you want to take the class, and you seem like great candidates to take the class, portlandcomedy.com. We have a lot of alumni here, like Calvin. See how Calvin came on stage with a second's notice and just stood there? That's comedy, ladies and gentlemen. Calvin's great. portlandcomedy.com is the place to go, and we have a lot of fun. We're starting again in April with 2 classes, so intermediate, advanced, and introductory. Are you ready for more comedy? One more time for Kathy Cravat, our mystery writer / comedian. Joining us now, he's taking his second class with me, very acerbic and very funny. Please welcome Phil Knorr, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Knorr! I think you're acerbic. Acerbic? Phil Knorr, ladies and gentlemen.
What did you say? It's Serbic, like the Slovakian.
Very Swedish. Thanks, Carl. Keep it going for everyone who's been up. All the students, what a great class. I have a lot of people tell me I look like NFL quarterback and notorious douchebag Aaron Rodgers. I don't see it, but now I gotta get on board based on that reaction. It's tough to look like Aaron Rodgers for a couple reasons. First and foremost, I'm from Minnesota. If you don't know, he played for the Green Bay Packers for about a decade and kicked our ass twice a year. The other reason is, as I mentioned, he's a anti-vax total douchebag and an asshole. And you know, I think when people see me and I kind of look like him, they kind of just put me in that bucket of this dude's an asshole. You know, maybe he's anti-vax, maybe he's just a douchebag. And so it's tough to come out of that, especially because I am a huge asshole and I am a douchebag. I believe in vaccines, but they put me in that bucket and they don't let me, you know, sort of show what kind of asshole I am, sort of independently, which is tough. The first time, actually the first thing my wife ever said to me is, "You look like a young George Clooney." My wife wears glasses. But just the thought experiment of that is, so I was 19, you look like a young George Clooney. So I was young. So now I should look like George Clooney. My vanity has no depths. I took it wholeheartedly and we've been together for 14 years. Yeah. Yeah, come on, clap it up. Yeah, we met when we were freshmen in college. That first month of college is a fun time. Trying to figure out who you are in the world, trying to be cool, trying to make new friends, sort of set the tone for the rest of your life. I started college in the first month of college. I dislocated my tailbone. It's tough to do. I should say in the first month of college I thought I dislocated my tailbone. I remember laying in my dorm room just on my bed, and I could feel this lump on the top of my ass just near my tailbone, and I was like, well, it seems like my tailbone is out of place. So I was trying to push it back in, which is, I don't think how you deal with a dislocated tailbone, I don't know. But, you know, it was painful, and I was pushing, and I was like, okay, well, this is not working, I have to go to the nurse. And so I went to the nurse on campus, and I said, hey, I think I dislocated my tailbone. She took one look at me and was like, you didn't dislocate your tailbone, I think I know what you have. So she took a look at it, and she's like, oh yeah, you have a pilonidal cyst. Anybody out here pilonidal cyst heads? No? Great. Welcome to health class. A pilonidal cyst is basically a gross ingrown hair right on your tailbone. So it's a big butt pimple. And the reason she looked at me and knew what it was and wasn't a dislocated tailbone, because that's ridiculous, is because if you look online at sort of what's the risk factors for a pilonidal cyst, you have, maybe sedentary lifestyle, bathing, stuff like that. But number one with a bullet is be a young, white, hairy male. Oh yeah, 4 for 4. Great day at the plate for me. So yeah, she just was like, yeah, no, you got a huge ass pimple, I'm sorry to tell you. So obviously I get diagnosed, and I have to go, and it's a pimple. Obviously first steps first, you gotta pop it, you gotta lance it, it's gross. So I go to the doctor, and I'm laying face down on the exam table, which is a horrible, just humiliating way to be at the doctor, is face down, just sort of no idea what's going on. But they give me Novocaine, they numb up my ass, my pants are on my ankles. So I think from the outside looking in, if you told me in my first month of college I was going to have my pants around my ankles, my ass was numb, and I was laying face down, I would think I was doing college pretty good. I was thinking I'd be succeeding. I was like, perfect. That was not the case. I'll spare you the gory details on how that procedure went. Golf ball of pus was the word that was used. So after got it drained, thanks, Carl. I had to have surgery. So it was gross enough that some of the tissue was what they call necrotic tissue. You gotta get that shit out. So so again, this is September of college. I've been there like 3.5 weeks. I'm now having ass surgery. Trying to make my way in the world. So have the surgery, come out, everything went fine. What they didn't tell me when I got out of it was that they don't always sew you back up. Sometimes they leave it open and let it heal from the bottom up. And the reason they do that kind of makes sense. They sew it up, it's on your ass, it gets gross, it could get reinfected. So now I'm a month into college, I have an open wound on my tailbone. I'm going back to campus now with 2 assholes and trying to make friends. I bring a pillow to every class. I sit at a 45-degree angle in those classes, and at all times I have a napkin wedged in my ass crack that I have to change every few hours. Like I got a tip at Sassy's or something. It's ridiculous. But my wife persevered 14 years. She saw that and was like, yeah, that's it. That's the young, 2 assholes, young George Clooney. That's my guy. So I appreciate that. That's a shout out. Like I said, I am from Minnesota, so I have been teaching my wife to play cribbage. Any cribbage heads out there?
Yeah!
Yeah, okay. It's like, I'm gonna miss twice. Yeah, so I'm teaching my wife how to play cribbage. It seemed like the easiest way to introduce pegging into our relationship. The cribbage people get it. The Venn diagram of cribbage people and pegging people is like, that's where I sit. I am a hairy guy though. I was a hairy kid. I'm currently a hairy guy. When I was younger, I did a lot more sort of maintenance, a lot more trimming, sort of an Edward Scissorhands kind of vibe, just like really finely working at it. Nowadays, it's much more of a conservation effort. Really just trying to sort of keep things within the boundaries, clear the underbrush, sort of just, fire prevention generally. But I ran into an issue. We had a date night planned a couple weeks ago, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a little bit extra, I'm gonna do some trimming. And I ran into the problem of I didn't know like where to stop. Because it's everywhere. And I think if I just do the immediate vicinity, it just looks like a crop circle with like a super sad scarecrow right in the middle. It's like the end of the night, it's just the spotlight on like this super average performer. So I didn't know what to do, but I had my razor, and I was like, all right, well, we'll put a number 3 on, see where it gets us, and start working down the leg. Started going back here, switching. Trying to just kind of blend it all together. I'm just like really working at it, getting everywhere. I end up just like kind of going to the knee and getting like a really nice tight fade, kind of up from the knee, and then sort of bare skin, and then sort of fade it back up to the top. I just kind of thought that was maybe the way to do it, is kind of draw the eye in. And so I got, I finished my task, I got the tight double fade, and I step out of the bathroom, and my wife looks at me, she just kind of gives me the twice over, and is like, babe, you look absolutely gradient tonight. I thought I saw a new ghost the other day. Turns out it's just the same old sheet. I got one groan in the back, that's all I wanted. Thank you very much, everyone.
Phil Miller, ladies and gentlemen, and give Phil's wife a round of applause for hanging in there. Straight people. Similar problems. Give up another round of applause. Good Lord. Good job, Phil. A cerbic. Don't you think he was kind of a cerbic?
I don't think you can say that anymore.
What are you, retarded? All right. Come on, that was funny. Fuck it. So that was a quick comeback. I said something you can't say anymore. Now, Phil's wife, is that all true? Was he gradient?
Oh, it's always gradient.
Yeah. Did you really call him a young George Clooney?
100% did not know this man because, well, he was 19, didn't know him. I stepped out of a friend's dorm room and was like, I'm going to tell this guy that he looks like a young George Clooney. Stopped him while he was walking in the hall.
Really?
Said, you look like a young George Clooney. He said, thanks. Walked away. I was like, never going to talk to that guy again.
Really? Did he have his pillow with him at the time? Well, that's a sweet story. I love that. Because a lot of people didn't make it out of ER alive. Is anyone watching the new The Pit?
I want to.
It's on Max. It's Noah Wiley. It's the new ER. All right, just fuck me. Okay, anybody have Max? Thank you, Calvin. I can always rely on you. You're a good liar. All right. Are you ready for more comedy? She's my favorite dresser, as well as a very funny woman. I think she dresses with style, and you know, she's one of a kind. Please welcome Jennifer Bloom, ladies and gentlemen. Jennifer.
Hello, everybody. Hello, it's so great to be here. This is actually my third class with Carl in Comedy Sports. So shout out, Carl. Shout out, Comedy Sports. Woo! You know, you would think, having taken 3 classes, that by now something would click and I'd write something funny, but, well, here we are. So, there you go. You know what's interesting? The more I get into stand-up comedy, the more I realize how similar it is to interviewing for a job, right? I mean, it's actually very similar. That's what I do. I recruit and I help people through the interview process. And stand-up and interviewing, it's the same thing. Basically, you've got about, 10 minutes to sell yourself to a group of typically self-satisfied assholes, present company excluded, of course, who will decide if you either go home with any self-esteem at all, or if you're going to go drown yourself in self-pity and bourbon. Right? Same thing. Interviewing for a job is comedy. In fact, when you think about it, it's all a show. It's grandstanding. People are lying, right? I mean, hiring managers for companies, they gotta pretend that their company's the best company in the world. We've got the best product or service. We've got the best customers. We've got the best colleagues and the best snacks, right? And candidates, they had better act like this company is their dream come true. When they're asked, why do you want to work for this company, they had better not say, well, I kind of just want to pay my bills, support my family, and you're 10 minutes from my house. Right? Better not say that. What they had better say is, oh, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? I just love your mission so much. I mean, it has been a dream of mine to be an accounts payable clerk for waste management. I mean, your mission is amazing. You're cleaning the city. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Right? Wouldn't it be great if, for once, people just told the truth? They just relaxed and were fucking honest about it, right? Jennifer, why'd you leave your last job? Well, I'll tell you, they were assholes. They micromanaged me to death, and they expected me to put the company before my family. So forget it. Mr. Employer, what's it like to work for this company? Well, let's see. I think my boss hates me. I've been denied PTO, and I'm getting an ulcer. So, what do you think? You know, on reflection, maybe we shouldn't be so honest, right? Because then no one would work anywhere. I know. Let's play a game. You and I, okay? You tell me, because I've been recruiting for 20 years. This is not my first rodeo. So you tell me an interview question that you've been asked or that you asked, and I'll tell you what they're really asking. What they really want to know. Yes?
Where do you want to be in 5 years?
Yes. Where you want to be in 5 years is, are you going to stick around or are you just going to bail? Because like every other millennial, you work for 6 months and you're out. Okay? What's the plan? Or are you gunning after my job? Because if you're gunning after my job, I don't want it. Right. All right. Anybody else?
They asked me if I had their mobile plan.
If you have a what?
If I had their mobile plan.
You have their mobile plan?
Yeah, if I had Xfinity Mobile.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you a drone? Are you a company sheep? Or are you going to go rogue? That's what they want to know. Anything else?
What's your weakest or trait or whatever?
What's your biggest weakness? Right. Are you an asshole? That's what they want to know. Are you a dick to work with? That's what they want to know. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. It's not on?
Sorry.
Yeah. This is $5 worth of comedy, folks.
Switch mics real quick.
Whatever.
Belt it out.
What do you expect? Fortunately, I was trained to speak to the back of the proceeding committee, much to the chagrin of the people who work next to me. Now I can tell them, suck it! Oh, I got a wire. I get the trip. Because I'm
Here.
okay, am I on? Am I live?
Yep.
Yay! Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Right. Now, where the fuck was I? No, so like I said, I'm new to comedy, but I actually have been recruiting for 20 years, so I've worked with my fair share of self-satisfied assholes. And who can speak to that? Can I hear an amen?
Yeah.
That's right. We all have, right? And I actually work for a company that's chock full of them, as a matter of fact. I work for a startup. Now, startups are founded by entrepreneurs. Anybody work for a startup? Lucky bastards. So startups are founded by entrepreneurs. Now, entrepreneurs are funny. Now, that's comedy. They're typically a group of high school or college bros who have a good idea and a lot of moxie, right? They're really good at developing said idea and selling it and scaling it to the market. But when their business starts to scale and they need to hire new people, well, that's where the trouble begins, right? Because entrepreneurs put their blood, sweat, and tears into building this business, right? A lot of rejection, but a lot of perseverance. So they feel justified in assuming that every person they hire thereafter is going to have the same level of soul-crushing commitment, right? They don't understand. People don't give a shit about your mission. They just want to maintain their relationship with the electric company. That's it, right? They think that, well, we don't have to pay people market value. They can live off our mission and culture and stupid company swag. People are pressured into wearing monogram polo shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and worse yet, the hipster hat, right? I mean, I've got news for y'all. No, people are sick to fucking death of Fiesta Fridays and Motivational Mondays, okay? And I've got a little clue for you. No one wants to do your stupid trust exercises in your team building days, okay? People just want to go to work, do a good job, and go home. Really, that's what it's all about, right? So, like I said, I work for a startup, and they're a 5-year-old company, and they're out of Salt Lake City. So, they were founded by members of the LDS community, the Mormons. Now, and so, you're right, what you're thinking. I don't even have the opportunity of doing what most people do at employee functions and drinking copious amounts of alcohol, right? They ease their stress by mixing Dr. Pepper with Coca-Cola. I'm telling you, there's nothing that Salt Lake City loves better than their soda bars and their Botox. Now, you would think working for the Mormons, they would be compassionate and benevolent employers. To that I say, hell no. most ruthless, cutthroat employers that I have ever worked for. I mean, they may love thy neighbors, but they could give a shit about their employees. Okay? I mean, they actually have a philosophy. I kid you not. I kid you not. Hire fast and fire fast. This is business, baby. If you can't cut it in 30 days, you're out. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's revenge for all the doors that were slammed in their face on their mission trips. But back to entrepreneurs, because they're fun. You know, so none of y'all work for entrepreneurs, but you're not going to know this. But entrepreneurs are big readers. They love to read and listen to TED Talks from motivational, self-satisfied assholes, right? Who make a living kind of spewing smug platitudes like, you need to earn the right to be right, and shoot bullets, not cannonballs, and who moved my fucking cheese? I mean, I don't know. And then they have these entrepreneurs will have rambling, mandatory meetings where they go on and on about about these smug platitudes. Well, I have a platitude for you, right? No one's inspired, nobody cares. I mean, entrepreneurs, I'm almost scared for when they go on vacation, right? Because they're going to read a book or two, and then they're going to come back, and the whole company is going to pivot directions. It's crazy. Now, entrepreneurs also have a hard time letting go when the business scales beyond their scope, right? And this is evidenced by how they feel about human resources. Business owners hate HR. They hate human resources because they don't want to be told what they can't do. Oh, I can't discriminate. I can't fire without cause. I can't make lewd, inappropriate jokes. I can't sexually harass. I can't sleep with my employees. Blah, blah, blah. Right? But HR is the one department that's there to clean up their mess when they've got lawsuits. Right? And they're the first department to blame when they can't retain employees because of their mission-driven culture. Entrepreneurs also love to disrupt. That's how they become successful. They disrupt the markets, right? But they also disrupt their employees by constantly pivoting. I mean, they could say, hey, we've got a big recruiting team. We need a director of HR who can come in and whip everybody into shape based on best practices. And then, 3 months later, they'll come and say, you know what? Never mind. We're going to put recruiting and sales. Sorry, Jen, you're out. But hey, you can still recruit for us and keep the hat. Not that this was about me, or not that I'm bitter. What are you looking at? Whatever. So, like comedy, interviewing, you receive your highs and your humiliating lows. But at the end of the day, I have at least 2 or 3 hipster hats.
How many would like to see her fire Donald Trump? Oh my God! It works again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Keep it up for Jennifer and Aaron. See, when this happens, we're going to take the show from the start again. Jethro Rosen. All right, Jennifer. Thank you very much. And our next 2 performers are sitting right next to Jennifer. It's like the Oscars, you know. And these 2 are a couple. The last 2 comedians who were see tonight you're not married, right? You call yourself partners?
Yes.
I notice you have a hipster hat on. I noticed that. Well, they're partners, and they're both extremely funny. So I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their house. Oh my God. Please welcome Andrea Matthews, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea.
Some people say I'm just a little bit OCD. This has been bothering me for a while. Okay, Phew. I feel better. I feel so much better. But if you want to see OCD, wait till you meet my sister, Milana. Okay, that's Milana. It's not Melania. It's not Moana. It's Milana. And my name's Andrea. It's not Andrea, or Andrea, or Andrea, or Andrea. It's Andrea. Okay, I just gotta get it right. It's important, very important. So, nervous, I'm nervous. Take a breath. Okay, yeah, so my sister, I'm very picky about what I wear, my clothes. They need to be soft, cotton is good. I like to wear cotton, and they need to be have patterns or be solid colors. There's no white. You can't do white because white gets stains. So you gotta have that. All those things are very important. Can't stand air gaps. That's another thing. No air gaps are allowed. But my sister, Milana, she takes it to another level. Okay, every day of the week has its own specific fabric. Monday, it's cotton, which is nice and soft for the beginning of the week, for going into work. And then Tuesday, it's wool. You know, you get a little bit more dressy on Tuesday for work. Wednesday, linen, a little more casual. And then Thursday, it's gabardine. Let's dress it up. Let's get a little more fancy. And then Friday, it's velveteen. It's exciting. And then Saturday, it's corduroy. That's a good day for working in the farm and getting out with the vegetables. Sunday, we got church. It's a great day to be wearing nubuck. Okay. Yes, and we both are particular about what we eat. For me, it's very important to have that predictability and order. So every breakfast, I have buckwheat waffles because you can have any kind of thing on them. You can have blueberries, strawberries, whipped cream, syrup, butter, lots of choices. But always the base, buckwheat waffles. And lunch, it's nachos, corn chips, anything can go on them. Dinner, spaghetti. You can have puttanesca, Alfredo, bolognese, marinara. It gives you so many options, but yet you still have that predictability and order. So yeah, but my sister again, Milana, she takes it to another level. Every day of the week is a different grain. Monday, oats. Tuesday, wheat. Wednesday, rye. Thursday, rice. Friday, barley. Saturday, amaranth. And Sunday, einkorn. That's einkorn, not einkorn or eincairn. It's einkorn, okay? Yes, get it right. Do this right, okay? Everybody, be careful. Okay. Nervous, okay. I'm nervous about saying bad things about my sister. She likes to have order. So anyway, we also have changed our careers. We're trying to get to the perfect career. So I started with designing chips, little microprocessor chips. You can't even see what's in them. And I went to a big scale. I went to become an architect, design buildings, small to big. My sister had to outdo me. I don't know why you want to outdo me on everything, but she had to outdo me on this. She took it to another level. She went from buying nacho chips, tortilla chips for a hippie health food store, to hiring cybersecurity personnel for a multi-billion-dollar organization. I mean, it's such a huge career change, bigger than mine, definitely. I'd give her that. It's like going from testing hair dryers to chasing hurricanes. Not even in the same realm. So anyway, that's enough about her. Phew, got that out of the way. Okay, yeah, me and my partner Mark. Let's talk about us now. We're also trying to spice up our life, our sex life. It's gotten kind of orderly. You know, we are both a little bit OCD, so we do have our routines. Once a month, when we have sex on the 15th of the month, we have a different position. So January, it's missionary. February 15th, it's upright penis. March, it is mutual masturbation. And this last April, we tried wheat berries, and we had to do the Heimlich maneuver. So that was a new position for us. It was not sexual, but at least it was intimate. So we got that going for us. So anyway, now we're looking at videos to get ideas, but we're not gonna watch young people. We can't do any of that. My back doesn't do that. So we are watching only fogies and Boomer XXXXX. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. So yeah, I thought it was going to be, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be like, needlepoint and naps, slippers and soup, bedpans, bird feeders. But no, it wasn't none of that. It wasn't anything like that. But these olds are really masterful in their craft, y'all. I know I'm an old too, but I'm not an old. I'm just an old. So they are. I mean, they can give you an orgasm just by a sultry look. Okay. Hashtag life goals. I'll get there. One day I'll get there. Speaking of life goals, y'all, I recently stopped getting migraines. I mean, I've been having these migraines my whole life. I've tried everything. I've tried acetaminophen, aspirin, Advil, ibuprofen, Imitrex. I tried massage, chiropractic, acupuncture. Okay, just everything. But they just recently stopped. I'm not sure why. I have made a few changes in my life. I did move. I used to live next to a sports stadium, under a flight path, in a construction zone, beside the highway, next to a royal road. But I moved. I don't know. Maybe that was it. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, I changed jobs. I used to work for these self-satisfied assholes, and they made me wear this hipster hat that was like 2 sizes too small. So, but and also my job was as a jackhammer operator, and I was working it was at night. It was like a nighttime job. And there were these flickering fluorescent lights. I don't know. It was rough. It was a ammonia bottling factory. So yeah, I quit that job, and I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe that was the reason. I don't know. I think so. Maybe. So yeah, but now I focus on being really relaxed and doing relaxing things like. On Monday, yoga. Tuesday, It's chanting, we are the flow, we are the ebb, we are the weavers, we are the web. Group chanting, it's very relaxing. And Wednesdays I do Shivarasa meditation. Oh, join me. Oh, hoopla! Yeah. Okay. That was so relaxing. Yes. Okay. Thursday, it's Tai Chi. So let's see if I can. There's some kind of bird. I don't know. Something like that. Okay, very relaxing. And then Friday, I take a lot of naps and do mutual masturbation. And then Saturday, my sister and I discuss einkorn recipes. And Sunday, I tell jokes for Comedy Sports. Yay!
Andrea Matthews, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Andrea Matthews. What up? I thought they were going to mutually masturbate. That was a close call. That's like working in Trump's FAA. Give it up for Andrea Matthews, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea Matthews. I'm relating to all of my students' comedies. I was had a touch of OCD in the 90s. I was actually, it's a true story. I was doing comedy Duck Ducks in Vancouver, BC, and I saw a little bit of my OCD, and there was a psychologist in the audience, and I asked him what I should do, and he told me when you go home, just sit on your couch in the living room and throw a bunch of pencils on the living room floor and just let them stay there.
No.
Well, I know, so I went home, I got all the pencils, I threw them in the floor. Does he do this at home?
Yeah.
So props can be used in comedy. So I threw them on the floor, and about 15 seconds later, I picked them all up and sharpened them. So that joke was for you. Thank you. And Phil Knorr, I remember when third week that I was in college, I was also face down with my pants around my ankles, and that was for you, Calvin. Thank you very much. I had to have an einkorn removed. How you doing, buddy? This is our final act for tonight. I know that many of you are happy about that, and
I am.
And I'm going to introduce him right now, and he's a really interesting cat. I was going to do the hairy pussy joke, but Jethro's gone. He is a very funny guy, and what he's going to do tonight will stay with you, in a sense. It's like a pimple on your coccyx. It's really a helpful lecture about safety. Please welcome Mark Gurman, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Gurman!
All right, everybody, this class here, so everyone got their notebooks and pencils. I use number 2, Ticonderoga, and anybody who wants some, there are a couple on the floor there. So, we've been doing a safety, what's it, fork, huh? Is that a tuning fork?
No, it's not very good at singing.
It's not a tuning fork. Can I test that?
Of course.
Why do you have a fork? It's, yes, it's keeps C.
Thank you.
All right, so today we're going to do risks and hazards. My name is Mark Gurman. My company is a hard G Risk and Hazards. It's a hard G because it's Gurman, not German. So it'd be hard G Risk and Hazards LLC. LLC is limited as to the distance around my house where I work. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about hazards. There's hazards everywhere. In Portland, the whole world is a hazard. And wherever you walk, you could walk into a wall or you could fall into a hole. And those are hazards, and we want to limit the risk of a hazard. And there's many different ways to limit the risk of being injured or dying from a hazard. You always want to use common sense. We've been learning about common sense. That's what the C for is on my hat. My business hat is common sense. We've been learning about common sense recently in the news. We want to use common sense here. And if you do come across a hazard, anyone here name kind of a hazard that we could happen onto?
Manhole?
A manhole. And is that a gender neutral manhole? Is that just a manhole? Are there any other kind of man?
So only men.
Only men fall in those, yes. Well, a hole in the ground is a hazard only if you know that it's there. If you don't know it's there, it's not a hazard. So you have to know that the manhole is there and fall into it for it to be a hazard. If you do fall into the manhole, you should be always thinking about bringing a pickaxe with you so that you can climb out, or a rope. Lower the rope down before you fall in. So that would be very, very, very helpful. Anybody else? Another kind of hazard that you find in Portland?
Children?
Children, yes. Well, children are the largest natural hazard in the world, and you need to use birth control to limit that. And I in fact use multiple types of birth control all at once, as does my partner. She uses the sponge and the diaphragm, the pill also, and an IUD. And I use this is you need to use them all at once. And I use a condom, also a vasectomy, abstinence, and I also use an IED, which is very effective at limiting the amount of children. You do want to limit. You could be walking around. I wear a condom right now in case I'm walking out through the streets of Portland. I don't want to accidentally inseminate anything. Don't come crying to me if you happen to have 9 children because you weren't safe. Yes, we're gonna venture onto these later. This was on the bottom, but it came up first tonight, so we're going to have to deal with that. Now, we have new protocols in the country. Some of the new protocols. Well, first of all, I just want to let everyone know that the way I'm dressed, I'm going to dress like this until the end of our war, in which case I'm going to then don a suit. And we have new edicts out here. These are the Doge edicts, and backwards it says EGOD here. Now, we have the ways of solving, first of all, the high price of food is a hazard. And it's a hazard because it's a hazard to your wallet, or your pocketbook, or wherever you keep your money, or your Bitcoin. And can anyone name some high food prices here?
Eggs.
Eggs. Eggs. What kind of eggs?
Just normal eggs.
Normal eggs out of a
Chicken
normal thing. A chicken egg. Okay, very good. Yes. Well, chicken eggs are very high cost. They're maybe $12 a dozen, I guess. Well, Doge is going to eliminate the high price of eggs by basically eliminating eggs. Now, eggs will become, you won't be able to have the chicken have eggs. So every chicken from now on will need to come to terms with their egg. In other words, they'll need to bring their egg to term. And this will fold right in. It's going to fold right in with the anti-abortion laws as well. And this is going to hold true for chickens, ducks, and everything. As a result, we're going to have an abundance of baby chicks. And it will be possible, baby chicks, you will be able to eat the baby chicks after they're a day old and they're out of the womb. And so they're actually, I've had babies, they're very delicious. You do have to pluck the feathers. They're small feathers, but you can do it. So yes, high price of food here. This will hold true for all animals, even the bovidae animals, which are, of course, cows. Cows will have to bring to term their babies as veal, and then you'll be able to eat them as well. Doge is also dealing with environmental hazards. Anybody here be able to name some environmental problems out there that we have, that we're facing every day?
Wildfire?
Wildfire. Wildfire is, well, wildfire, if you don't see it, it doesn't really quite exist. So unless you live down there. Anybody else? Another one?
Smoke.
Smoke. That's like wildfire. That's the result of wildfire. That's after the wildfire's been put out, there's a lot of smoke and steam. Right.
Wastewater pollution.
Well, waste. Yes, waste. So a big environmental problem are landfills. Landfills have tons of trash in them, and it's an environmental problem. It can leach into the ground and cause the water to get poisoned. So on the Doge initiatives, there will be no more landfills. Everybody will be responsible for their own trash. Okay, you will need to process your own trash in your apartment. A lot of people will start with a spare room in their apartment and keep their trash there. And then we'll move on from there. Once that room gets filled, you can take the paper products, you can burn the paper products for heat, and then the cans that you have from your Red Bull, you'll be able to take those and smelt those down and make bicycle parts. So this is all in the whole plan. And I will have a next lecture about biodiversity, which is, it came from the Waldorf School way back, and Rudolf Steiner, a German, I guess, or a Swiss or something like that. And what we'll do is everybody will have basically a farm in their apartment, okay? You can grow your own food, you'll learn animal husbandry, and be careful around animals. I always wear a condom around here. So you gotta be careful about that. So you'll have biodiversity for the efficiency apartment, very small apartment, a duplex, in case you live next to one another. You can share different kinds of animals, and tenement and a granny flat. Any questions? No questions? All right, keep writing. Keep writing. You're doing good. I'm always prepared. It's a motto from the Boy Scouts, which is Semper Paratus. It means always prepared. And I carry an emergency kit with me all the time in case I have to bug out. And if I do have to bug out, by the way, I do have maps or places I can go. I found a couple of places I can go. I can go to Walla Walla, wherever that is. And the other place, I found this map here, and it's Italia, Graecia, Imperia Romanum. I can go to Imperial Rome. I just found out, and it says explanatio here, and explanatio explains all the different places in Rome, the historical significance. I found out where Caesar was stabbed by Brutus, right over here. So that's another place that we can go in the future to bug out. But if I do have to bug out, my number one thing that I carry is bamboo. Bamboo is a very versatile thing. I can take bamboo. I can make a emergency whistle out of bamboo here, and you just take your knife and you can just whittle out little holes in here for the bamboo. And in case you're lost or someone is trying to chase you down, you can blow in your whistle. The other thing bamboo is good for. I know a lot of you like to go nude sunbathing out in Sauvie Island at Collins Beach. And if you're out in Collins Beach and you're nude sunbathing and all of a sudden the tidal wave comes up the Columbia Don't come crying to me because you don't have any supplies, you don't have a knife or anything. You should always carry a knife and possibly even a saw, even if you're nude sunbathing. So you can go to Sobe Island, you can run out in the woods there, and you can cut yourself some bamboo and make a raft. And you lash this together with rope and make a raft and be able to sail away from the flood. Also, if you're happen to get caught on top of Mount Shasta, which is an active volcano and it erupts, you can take that same raft and you can sail down the magma flow. You want to carry a rope with you at all times, and a rope is handy for getting down from places. Everyone knows from my last thing that you need to have a rope if you're driving over the 405 in case there's an earthquake and you have to rappel off the 405 and you can rappel off of there and then simply do a tuck in the water and float down to St. John's, where you can get out on the pier there. One of my favorite things is tinfoil. And I've been collecting tinfoil since I was a young boy for over 50 years. I have a huge supply of tinfoil. The tinfoil is great because you can fold it up and make it thicker. Like that. Tinfoil is really helpful. You can sew it together. You can use dental floss to sew it together. And in case we have a nuclear fallout, it's good to keep radiation away from you. I'm sewing mine into a SpaceX suit now. Tinfoil is very handy. Of course, I always have a knife. I actually have 2 knives on me and a saw. I know it's a little overdone, but always a knife. That's pretty straightforward. Garden seeds, in case you have to bug out. You want to have garden seeds with you. These are from 1979, but I think they're still good. Don't throw away your garden seeds that you didn't plant in your apartment. Hold on to them, and you want to have. Also, you want to bring your livestock with you. Okay. So I'm lucky. I have a little truck. I can fit a couple of pigs and chickens in the truck. And if you have an e-bike, you're down to basically maybe a worm farm. Yeah. The other thing that I have with me is either one of these 3, or all 3, or 2, or these 2, or maybe those 2, or all 3 of those 3. Is whale oil, beef tallow, or lube. And these are universally used for many different things. You can use any of them for illumination. You can light them with a wick and they'll glow, and you have illumination for them. Or you can actually beef tallow. You can actually eat beef tallow, or you can use it on your face as a moisturizer and other body parts. The lube that I always bring is Triflow. It has a very small applicator here. Triflow is good. It's not as edible as beef tallow. I do get my whale oil. I used to get it at Dick's, but I don't get it at Dick's anymore. I get it at Moby Dick's. Yeah, the beef tallow. We can get the beef tallow from a place down in Salem called Bull Dick's. The last, and the lube is, lube you can get anywhere, I guess. The last thing I always have is, I always have a compass with me, and a compass is very handy, especially in Portland if you're near Ladd's Addition. Or Sandy is also good, and yeah, I use the compass a lot to find my way around places, and I can find my way back home as well. So, thank you very much.
my comedy teaching career, Mark Furman. Give it up for the man. Is he like this at home?
Oh, yeah.
Until it turns green.
Yeah, it'll turn you green. Is he like this at home?
Yes.
Yes. God bless you. The Pope mentioned you tonight in his final thought. How about a hand? I'm going to ask all. I feel like I'm looking out into the void. I'm going to ask all of our students. Very good job, Mark. Very good job. I learn something every time. Chicken's coming to term. Chicks coming to term. You wait a week, that'll be in the Republican platform. I swear to God. Well, it's let's bring all our performers up tonight before we leave. Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Moylan, come on, give him a big round of applause. Kathy Pravat. Hey, Kathy. Phil Noor, Jennifer Bloom, Andrea Matthews, and Mark Gurman, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, give him a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming out, staying late. This is the most fun you'll have on a Friday night anywhere in Portland. I guarantee it. So, and plus you'll learn where to get the beef tallow now at Bull Dick's. One more time, good night. Thanks for coming.
Sign up for comedy!
Sign up for comedy.